Hey everybody, it's Craig Bechter here, and I want to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever struggled to match the color from two different brands of cameras when it came to your editing? So for example, let's say your A cam was shot on a Sony and your B cam was shot on a Canon, and then in post you try to match the two and you kind of struggle and spend lots of time. If that's ever happened to you, then pay close attention to this video, because I'm going to show you the fastest and easiest way to color match two different brands of cameras. All right, let's get started. All right, here we are inside DaVinci Resolve. At the time of this recording, Cinematch, the plugin we're going to be using, is compatible with DaVinci Resolve. It's also compatible with Adobe Premiere Pro and soon to be Final Cut Pro. So let's get started. So the software is designed to work with a flat log profile. So we have two clips from two different cameras. So this is often what would happen. You would have an A camera, which might be, say, your better camera. Let's just say it's a red. And you want to match it with maybe your B camera that's maybe like a Blackmagic Design camera. So for this example here, we have the Panasonic GH5 shot in Vlog. We'll call that our A camera. And then we have our B camera, the Fuji X-T4. And we're going to try and match the colors of the Fuji X-T4 to the Panasonic GH5. And the software is going to make it a lot easier for us to do that. So we have the Fuji on the left. We have the GH5 on the right. So you see there's an orange box that shows that we are clicked on the Fuji. Now we have two nodes here, and I'm just going to reset these nodes. You don't need two nodes, but I just have two there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to apply the plugin to the node and make our adjustments. Now I have my panel open. If you don't see that, if it just looks like this for you, click Open Effects and then look for Camera Matching Cinematch. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to drop it on my node right here. Now as I do that, you can see here now we have a new panel that we have access to. And so we're going to choose our camera source profile, which is the Fuji, our B camera. So it's the Fuji X-T4 in F-Log, and we're going to choose limited. Now, if you shot to external recorder like a Ninja, you click here and you could say full, but we shot it in cam, so that's limited. Now we want to go to our target profile. This is the camera we want to match. So we're going to pick the Panasonic GH5 on Vlog. And we also have the HLG option there. And again, we have limited, so we're going to apply. Now you can see, if you watch, that just went a little flatter. So we changed from Fuji's F-Log to the GH5 V-Log. Now, if you had a LUT for your GH5 footage, now you could apply that to your Fujifilm and it would match your GH5. But also inside the software, we have Apply Rec 709 Transform. So if you don't have a LUT that you use, you can just click this button and then boom, it looks like it's almost a finished image. Now we have a few more controls I'm going to cover. Now also too, stick around to the end of this video and I'll give you a link so you can find out if your cameras that you use are compatible with this software. All right, so we've done that. So the next step is we're going to go over to the GH5 and we're just going to drop it. And we're only going to do one part of this. So we're going to drop it on the GH5 footage. We're only going to choose this part. So we're going to go Panasonic. We're going to say GH5 Vlog, and we're just going to go that far with the software. Now what we want to do too is also click the 709. So now you can see they're looking a little bit similar, although you can see here that the Fuji looks like it's exposed a little differently. Now too, you can see I have a color checker in the scene. This is going to make it so much easier because we can do our white balance and we can fine tune our exposure. So if you have a color checker for both cameras, if your white balance was a little off when you shot between the two cameras, this is going to really help you. So we can look here, and if you look down here, it says exposure middle gray. If I click that, you can see it takes the middle gray parts of the image and we can make some exposure adjustments. Now you can see if I go left, the second square here, so you got your white, the second one down, that's middle gray. So we're going to try to get that so that's exposed properly. So we're just going to click right there. And we have our middle gray. Now I'm going to uncheck the exposure, and we can also go and look at the skin tones. And also we have false color temp, and we have false color tint. So I'll show you how these work in a second, but we can use these to help us refine the match even better. Now we're going to go to the GH5, and we've got that. It still looks like the exposure is a little brighter on that one. So let's just take it down a little bit. We don't necessarily need the middle gray for this because I'm just going to make a small tweak. And then I'm going to look here. Now, if you're kind of struggling with these adjustments, what you can do is you can put these two on a split screen as well. So if we come up to split screen and then I highlight this clip, Now we have them both on the timeline, but we can even make it better than this right now. And as you look at this too, this looks a little more saturated than the GH5. So what we can do is we can go over to the GH5 and we can make some adjustments. So there's certain adjustments that you want to make inside the software because the software is designed to work with the camera's gamma curve. So earlier you might have noticed that we had an overlay. So what I can do is, let me just get out of split screen mode here, is if we come down here and you click Open Effects Overlay, and I minimize that, now you can see we have access to some other tools with the plugin. We have HSL curves, we have RGB curves, and we have color wheels. So these mimic a lot of the other controls that you would find in your editing software, but it's better to use these ones within the plugin because, like I said, it's designed with the gamma curve. So whatever you're more comfortable with, you can make the same adjustments pretty much with the RGB curves as the color wheels, HSL curves. One cool thing too, I'll show you when we do the split screen, is you also have a source eyedropper and a target eyedropper, and we'll get back to that in a second. Now I also wanted to show you too, is if we go back to the Fuji, what we can do is we can fine tune our color a couple of different ways. Like I said, I'm going to show you another way in a second, but we also have a white balance picker at the bottom here. And I could just go to a gray square, click on that, and you can see we made some adjustments to the temperature, -167 and 1.2. Now we can go over to the GH5. Again, we can use the white balance picker, and we can click there, and you can see that made some temperature differences as well. So we're getting closer. I still think that the Fuji's a little brighter, so I'm just going to take that down a little bit more. And what we can do too is we can do a wipe so that we can match these two. So if you right click there, wipe timeline clip, you can see here, I can go back and forth and look at these two images side by side. If you go up to the top, you can also do a top and bottom. So if you're trying to match that way, and you can also do corner to corner, and you can also do input sizing. So you can even size things so that they're a perfect match. So if I go to my input sizing, if I go right here, sizing, and then you see I have my pan tilt zoom. Now I can move that image so I can better match it if I really wanted to. I could go up and down like that. I can even zoom in so you can see my face is bigger there. But I could try to match this as close as I possibly could so that everything looks seamless, which obviously I haven't got it set up so that it's seamless. But you could see here that it's just a matter of playing with it. But that's not one of the most important features. I just wanted to kind of show you that, where you could sort of really look at a color. And if we came down to, say, our false color tint, and, we put that on both images, say, and then I did the right click, and we go wipe timeline, then you could see here too, especially if I zoomed in, Command plus, I can zoom in and I could really say, okay, well, now that I get a better look at this, I could see that maybe this isn't exactly perfect. So what we can do too is at that point, we'll just go to the one image and we go to here, and then we can say open overlay. We can open that up, and you can see here we have access to HSL curves. So hue, saturation, and luminance. Now I'll just get that false color off, and I'll go back to the split screen and I'll show you what and I'll take that false color off this one as well. Because makes it harder to watch. But what we'll do is we'll go wipe timeline, and I'm just going to make this a little smaller so you can see it. You can see there are some color differences there. And so we'll just click on here, we'll go Open Effects Overlay, and now you see we have a source and we have a target. So if I wanted to adjust the hue, I would click Source and say we wanted to match this hue right here. So we'll get close to where that one is. I'll click there, and then our target would be over here. So I'm on the Fuji side, and I want to click roughly the same area. Now you can see here, I can adjust the hue. So I can make a fine-tuned adjustment to the hue. I can go, way crazy with it, or whatever I want to do. So I can make those little tiny fine adjustments if you feel like it's still off. Now, right now we're on L, so we're on the luminance. But then I can also affect the saturation, so the saturation of the image, and also the hue. So I thought I was on hue initially, but I was on the luminance. But here you could really refine that until you get it just right. So that's what's pretty cool about this tool. You can really go in depth. If you feel more comfortable with color wheels, you can do that. RGB curves, HSL. So it's a really in-depth tool, and once you get used to it, it's just so much easier to match your cameras. If you've enjoyed this video so far, or you found it useful or helpful, can you do me a small favor and hit that like button? It really helps this video get more views, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you have any comments or questions, you can post them down below. All right, let's get back to the video. Another really cool feature of this software is that you can emulate the colors and the look of a very high-end camera. So for example, let's say that you shot this on a Sony or a Canon, but you want your footage in color to look more like it was shot on an Arri Alexa or maybe a Sony Venice camera. So let me show you how to do that in this part of the video. All right, so you just saw how you can match different cameras. Now what you can also do too is you can go for a higher end look to your camera. So let's say you shot this on the Fuji, but you really like Arri Alexa colors, for example. So we're going to drop that over there. Now we're going to choose the camera profile. So we shot this on the Fuji X-T4, an F-Log, limited. Now we want it to look more like an Arri Alexa. So we can come in here and go Arri Alexa log C and apply. Now we've made this so that we're a flat log C from the Arri. So if you had an Arri Alexa LUT that you like to use, you could just use that. Just drop that over the node, and then you would have your color. Alternatively, again, you can click on Apply Rec 709 Transform, and you can see we've gone from Fuji color to Arri Alexa color. So I'm not matching two cameras. I'm just kind of saying, you know what? I wish I had better color on my camera. I know a lot of people don't like Sony colors sometimes. They complain about that, or they prefer a certain camera's color. So this is another way you can use this tool to really get more out of your existing footage. So I think it's really a helpful tool. If you want to know if your camera is supported and what other cameras are supported, I'll put a link below this video where you can click and find out more information about this software, and I'll also include a discount code for you as well. So check that out in the link just below this video. Hey, it's Craig Vector here again, and thank you for watching this video. If you found it helpful or useful, I'd appreciate it if you could hit that like button. Also, if you have any comments or questions, you can post them down below. Now, I'm going to post a link below this video with a discount for this software if you want to check it out and use it as part of your workflow. All right, thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.